I'm not going to go off the script. I'm going to just say what I got to say. And that's where we're just going to be at when it regards to the Eagles, the Carolina Panthers. The Eagles get their 9th straight win. Is the sky falling? Definitely not. Did this quarterback play horrible today? And Jalen Hurts? Yes. And it wasn't just him. It was a lot of other things. Does this make you worried for recent weeks in the future? PTSD Eagle fans are having, and I completely get it, but this really has to be said, so let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So the Eagles beat the Carolina Panthers 22-16, okay? When it comes to these games, and I have to say this, because every time the Eagles play a statistical bad team, they always play down to the competition. The Browns, they won by 4 points. The Jags, they played horrible in that game, okay? Almost lost that game when Nick was too aggressive. And then they play the Carolina Panthers, a team, as of the recent couple weeks, have played really well. Okay, the Panthers have nothing to lose going into this game. They know they're not going to the playoffs. These teams are always looking to beat good teams out there with good records that ruins their seeding, that just ruin their season as much as possible. Unfortunately, the Panthers didn't get the best of us the other day, but it still concerns you why the Eagles really played down to the competition and why it wasn't just the offense. It was the defense. It was the kicker. It was everything in this game, okay? The Panthers have played well the last couple weeks. The Panthers lost by 3 in KC. Against KC. The Panthers went into overtime with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they have played better. And generic fans look at the record and they're just going to say, oh, they want to, they can barely do this against this team and blah, blah, blah. If you play like this against any other of these playoff teams, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to win like this against Pittsburgh. You're not going to win like this against Detroit, blah, blah, blah. And people have such tunnel vision. They're acting as if these other top teams don't have games like this. Like the Eagles are the only team that actually plays down to the competition. Not like Jared Goff threw 4 or 5 picks in one game. Not that Jared Goff and the Lions literally almost lost it to the Bears because of the Bears' stupidity in the fourth quarter at the end of the game. But because when the Eagles lose, if the Eagles keep it close and just scrape by, the sky is falling now for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you look at this game with Jalen Hurts, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, obviously 14 for 21, 108 yards. It's almost like Hurts did nothing, but he was hesitant. He was staring down receivers. There was no synergy. There was just nothing going on for this offense. I think finally these first halves have caught up to us. This has to get fixed. This has to get fixed. The philosophy has to get fixed. Hurts plays well off of rhythm. Hurts plays well when it's up-tempo. When it's coming off of Hurts' passing comes off great when it comes off of some really good run plays. Okay, and that's a big one for me. And the Eagles, I don't think, did enough of that. And they wait until the second half to really run the football a lot more with Saquon Barkley. We'll be talking about him. But Hurts was hesitant, 3.5 to 4 seconds in the pocket, barely getting the ball to anybody. I mean, Devontae Smith had a touchdown. But 4 for 37 for Devontae Smith, 4 for 43. I forgot what it was, 43 for AJ Brown. AJ Brown after the game was so frustrated and pissed off. It's like they lost the damn game. And I'm glad the players are taking it that way. But yeah, you can't go into a playoff game looking like this, these scripted whatever. I don't know what all this is in this first half. Somebody needs to go into a press conference. One of these beat writers needs to be like, who's the game planner in these first half decisions? What is going on? And finally, it's caught up to us. So Hurts didn't play well, really bad. I think he has those clutch moments, but putting it all on his shoulders in the passing game, it's going to lead to bad things. I don't think he's a pure pocket passer at all. I would have loved to have run more play action under center. I would have loved to do just a little bit more today. They just looked very generic, really boring, really plain. And not even the first quarter, second quarter. I think it lingered into the third quarter when the Eagles got the ball back. 6, 7 penalties for this team. I know the refs missed a face mask. I know there were some bad calls in this game. That's just what it is every single week. And this entire team just did not show up. The tackling was bad. The defensive ends could not contain the outside. I mean, Bryce Young is just getting runs on us through these lanes, and we can't even stop him. And they couldn't tackle. They couldn't take anybody down. I mean, I think the top player on our defense today was Zach Baun. Zach Baun, 11 tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterback hits. I mean, I would love for Zach Baun to get Defensive Player of the Year, honestly, because he's been playing at the top of all the linebackers this season. Okay? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson didn't have a great game. But, I thought on that giving up that touchdown, he had that big hit on Xavier Legette in the first quarter. I think it was the first quarter, putting him in the medical tent. Then he had the big pick, which really changed that momentum. The Eagles scored on that drive. Well, that was so well needed. That pick was needed badly. Okay? He got hurt twice. He's good. He came back in the game after going to the blue tent in the first half, came back in the second half, so it was nice to see Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back. We didn't want Devontae Maddox at safety. Trisha McCollum didn't play well. Cooper DeJean, I mean, Thielen was a fucking issue in this game. Thielen was catching everything. DeJean gave up a few passes, and I heard the Eagle fans saying he got exposed. It's just ridiculous. Over one game, it's like everyone's getting exposed, and everybody is literally thinking about last season. This is the exact moment where our downfall started, right at this moment of the season where everything started to go downhill. This team is night and day compared to that. But the Eagles have only scored 17 points in the first quarter this season. That's it. That's all they've scored. So when you want to just have this tunnel vision that the Eagles are the only team that can look this ugly in one game, we're talking one game. We played like this every game last season. Ugly wins every single week. Not one dominating performance with the Philadelphia Eagles offensively. This is where I start to flip my shit, because these generic fucking answers that I get on watching this game and what we saw, and it's as if no quarterbacks may make any mistakes, as if nobody plays ugly, that there's a team out there that gets beaten by a team that shouldn't be beat by. It's happened to every team. It's happening every year. Get back on the train tracks next week and be ready for Pittsburgh. Jake Elliott hasn't made a field goal over 50 yards, 52 yards this season. He missed an extra point. And thank God there was a penalty on that play, because the Eagles went for 2 and they ran with Saquon Barkley and got it. He missed a 53, 54 yarder. Jake Elliott had a bad game a couple weeks ago, went to the Ravens, played great, and then having another bad game. Seems like when one position or one side is playing bad. And look, we have to think of it this way too. It's like this is the first time the defense has struggled post-bye week. This is the first time the defense has struggled, and the offense needs to pick up the pieces. Okay, give the defense some credit. They held the Panthers to 16, but that's what we expect, though. I thought Hubbard ran the ball really well on them. He had like 60-something yards already in the first half. We pretty much got him to 1,000 yards the first time in his career. And they had a couple running backs that were hurt during the game, so Hubbard was like the only running back that they had. And Thielen was the only receiver that was really doing anything to us. Xavier Legette had that drop at the end of the game, which, that's what happens, man. Just a drop, just mistakes. When Jalen Hurts threw the ball, and it got deflected up in the air, came back down. Adam Thielen caught it. I mean, that's just luck, man. That's just lucky crap that happens in a game. It just happens. Yes, they missed the face mask on Calcaterra. Calcaterra scored his first touchdown, so I thought he played good. I can't really analyze the offensive weapons that much because we barely even did. We couldn't get touches for anybody in this game. Couldn't get any touches in this game. The edge rushers were just not containing well. They were overextending themselves, and it was bad. Nolan Smith did nothing. Jalen Hunt had a couple nice tackles, but he didn't really do much of anything. We're struggling on that edge. This game, they definitely struggled. Other weeks, they look great. You know, this was a really bad game all around. I don't think this defines their season. And trust me, if this goes into the next 2 games like this, you know, then my thoughts will change. But I don't think Hurts played well. I'm agreeing that Hurts played pretty damn bad. Hurts already said after the game that the synchronization is a big problem. You should have no issues with synchronizing your offense. I mean, some of these draw plays, some of the miscommunication between him and Devontae Smith on one play, which went nowhere, and he just ran it. I mean, just stupid shit like that. Really annoying. But this doesn't define Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. I think you need to change the philosophy in these first halves. You have to do up-tempo. You have to get this passing game going off of big runs. You have a running back that could do everything. And this is where Hurts is going to struggle. I respect he didn't turn the ball over, but I don't respect, I don't think the offensive line played as well today. The one where he got pressured so quick, couldn't do much. He had to run backwards 8 yards, and he slid, which that really sucked. Really had no time to even throw it out. Maybe he did. I don't know. He wouldn't want to take a sack, but I get it's give or take. What are you going to get with this offense? You know? So if there's no rhythm, the first halves, I mean, I don't even know what to say, dude. I mean, all we can say is let's see what they look like next week. Saquon Barkley, 20 carries for 124 yards, breaking LaShawn McCoy's season record in rushing, which is fantastic. 1,623 yards for Saquon Barkley, getting closer to what he's doing. Breaking the record, becoming MVP for the season. Great. Can't wait. I don't know what we would do without Saquon Barkley, honestly. I really don't. I don't know what we would do without him. And that's why I say to myself, use him in this first half a little bit more. Use some up-tempo and do some different things. Because Jalen's passing game off of big runs or a really successful run game, he's almost unstoppable. But it's finally caught up to this offense. And defensively, you're missing tackles. I mean, it looked like what the Eagles looked like pre-bye. It looked like the Eagles last year and how they used to tackle. That's what it looked like. Darius Slay had an off game and had a good game at the end. The last series, the one on Leggett, he deflected. Obviously, the big 4th down play deflected, which was great. He's getting these little injuries in these games. He was stumbling with his feet a little bit. Then he got hit in the stomach. And I mean, Slay is just looking really old out there. Like he's got no burst, or I don't know what's going on with him. So I didn't think he played really that great, but I thought he tightened up pretty well at the end. The coverage was bad. Cooper DeJean, I mean, everyone's saying Cooper DeJean's exposed and now he looks and he's not what I mean, Jesus Christ, it's one game and that's what everybody is fucking complaining about. Like that's what everybody is literally dogging on every player that they're not what they are, like it was all fake this season. Like that's what I'm getting from Eagle fans. It's like, man, I've never seen the hate like so. And trust me, if there's one person that beats this team down, it's me. But off of one ugly game, come on now. if we had to play a playoff game next week, I'd be really worried. But the Eagles have time on their side. And it really depends what they do with it. So I don't want to end up repeating myself a million times in this video. This was a win. A win is a win, which I don't like to say. The Eagles players are taking this as a loss. They're not celebrating. So that's good. AJ Brown's pissed. Everyone's pissed. Not pissed at each other. They're just pissed at like this. We can't play like this. Okay? And when they have played bad teams this year, besides the Giants, they have played down to the competition. They have done it like this entire year. And I don't know why. So they got to get this fixed. So there's really not much else to say. They won a close game. They played from behind. Defense rose to the occasion at the end of the end of the fourth quarter. The Panthers waste both of their timeouts. They couldn't wrap Bryce Young when we punted the ball down to the two-yard line, 3rd and 13, and Josh Sweat can't take Bryce Young down and makes a big play to Thielen. It sucks to give up plays when you can't even tackle. So if the kicker wasn't right, the defense wasn't right, the offense wasn't right, this whole team just wasn't right in this game. It's not like one side was good and one side was bad. And let me tell you, the defense didn't ball out. I heard a lot of comments. Defense, yeah, held them to 16. Great. But they didn't look great either. So that's where I am with this team. They got a big week next week, and they need to win one more game to clinch the division. Obviously, to win the division, clinch your playoff berth, and get ready. But I wish I was a beat writer in that room asking some of these coaches, or whoever is up on the stage, and be like, who's running this? Who's game planning these plays in the first half, first quarter? Why aren't they running the football enough? I don't know. I'm going to leave it to the Eagle fans to see what's, I can't go all in on this one game and just pick every little tiny moment things went bad, because the whole game was bad. If they did this for 3-4 weeks straight, then fine. Yeah, we have a lot to worry about. This is 1 week. Every team has played down to the competition. This happens every single year. And guess what? Teams either learn from it or they don't. Whether it's the coaching, whether it's the quarterback. And trust me, I've said it for the 6th time in this video. This quarterback looked like shit. Simple as that. Does this define his whole season? No. Does the defense, the way it played, defines its whole season? No. Is the sky falling? No. But this is an eye-opener for the coaching staff to say, okay, we have to change this in the first half. We have to change the philosophy. Things have got to look different, because you're not winning this way. Do not say that you can't beat these other good teams that are out there, because they've had some bad games this year. This quarterback will always be disrespected. If he threw 4 picks today, if he threw 4 or 5 picks today and won a football game, he'd be disrespected. If the Eagles kicked 4 field goals and threw a Hail Mary pass, he'd be disrespected. It doesn't matter, because the guy's always going to be disrespected. Because everyone always has to put this thing on him that he has to throw for 4 touchdowns and have over 400 yards passing. That's not how he's built. That's not how this offense runs. just look a little bit better in that first quarter. That's all I ask. And change some things up. Because 108 yards of passing is like, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So that's all I really got to say. I'm not fighting with people all week over one bad, ugly game. If this gets into that Pittsburgh game and they look and it continues, then let's talk about it. But other than that, I'm just preparing for next week. Shrug this off our shoulders. Whether you're a Jalen Hurts fan or not, and you just support the team, that's fine. I've had my miscues about Hurts. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. It is what it is. So that's where I'm at right now. I didn't want to script this video because it's just, like I said, I think all around this was an ugly win. This reminds me of how the Eagles used to win games last year. Every single week, heart attack on top of heart attack on top of heart attack. Every fucking week. That's what it used to be. So I don't want to repeat myself and go back and forth in this video a million times. The Panthers gave it to us. They did. They really tried. They looked like they were like, we have nothing to lose. Let's go out and beat one of the best teams in the league and see what we got. And they did. They went for it on fourth down a couple times. I mean, and the Eagles had their struggles. So couldn't tackle, couldn't block, couldn't throw the football. Sometimes the run game wouldn't be going, and there was those times where, Saquon still finished a strong game today. Receivers were not even, besides some of the short passes to the receivers. I mean, we didn't throw a slant until like the fucking fourth quarter. I mean, that's how crazy it is, dude. That's how nuts it is. Wide open guys, Hurts eyeing one guy, making it obvious, not throwing off the break of a route. I mean, it's this offense needs to speed up. It's too. The first half, it's too robotic. Oh, man. A play takes way too long to develop. And for anything to happen with this passing game. Get this quarterback into a damn rhythm. Get the run game into a rhythm. And then Hurts passes off of that. It's almost unstoppable. All the time, the Eagles run that up-tempo offense. It seems like every time they do that, they're always successful. Always. Then they revert back to the screen passes to Devontae Smith. I mean, I'm just like, man, I hate it. I hate it so much. But this is, I'm not going to stress about it this week. If they lose next week, I'll stress about it. If they lose next week, I'll stress about it. But I'm not going to stress about it as much. There's definitely things to talk about. But they looked like shit. That team looked like shit, and that's fine. They're human at the end of the day. They're gonna lose a game. The Eagles are tied for their own season win record of 9 straight wins. They win next week. That's 10 wins. That's the most they've had in franchise history. There's good, there's bad, and there's the ugly in this game, and that's where we're at. So, other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought about the game in general. Like I said, be nice to each other. Respect each other's opinions. I know we were frustrated, but thank God they didn't lose this game. The big test is going to be next week. Again, the Eagles need to prove themselves because everyone is going to write this team off because no one thinks this team is legit. Doesn't matter how many wins that they have. So that's all I got to say. You guys let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on the next one. And if you guys have not, because it's the holiday season, there's a lot to celebrate here. Okay, make sure you check out the Philly Shakedown Podcast merch. The Eagles, we have hoodies, we have T-shirts, T-shirts, everything, some new designs. Definitely check it out. And a lot more going on. If you buy 2 pieces of merch, you get 10% off. You buy 3, you get 15% off. You buy 4, you get 20% off. Buying 4 is like pretty much paying for 3. You're pretty much getting a free t-shirt if you buy 4 pieces of merch. You spend $150, you get free shipping. So definitely check out all the new designs, all the great stuff me and Philly have been putting out for the Philly Shakedown podcast. So I appreciate it so much for all the support for that. And let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Be respectful, like I said, to each other. I don't care. Say whatever you want to me. I don't care. I'm not going to make anybody happy at the end of the day. This quarterback sucked. This coaching staff was horrible. And both sides played god-awful, just god-awful all around. So I'm with you on that. But this doesn't define our season. This doesn't end, like I said, it's got to be a continuance of games that they play like this badly. There's games where they don't play good in the first quarter, and then they play well the rest of the quarters or the second half. And they score a lot of points, and the defense plays at the top level. But this was all around, ugly all around, and really embarrassing, to be honest. So I agree with you on some things, but that's where I'm at with this team. Let me know in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys on the next one. 11 wins on the season so far, which is great. You guys enjoy. Shakes out, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.